Good morning, I guess. Hello everyone. So, yesterday I said I did not want to do an art stream. And yet, here we are. I've not had a good hour of being like, nothing was working. So, yeah, I guess we're drawing today. I don't know who though. I literally don't know who I want to draw. I have not mentally prepared for lore dumps because I thought I was gonna do gaming, but no. Steam wouldn't open. I was trying to look at what games I had in my Steam library to see if I could find something. Steam wouldn't open. So I decided we'll play Minecraft. Minecraft took forever to load, and when it did load, I couldn't get OBS to pick it up. So I gave up. So, you know what? I'm gonna finish these guys. But probably talk about not them, because I don't know. Give me just a moment. I need to fill up my water bottle. Okay. My background music is taunting me. I've got lo-fi video game music on. and I think it's playing a Minecraft tune. Or it just was. Whatever. Yeah, I guess the universe said no. Steam has yet to open up. I'm sure that'll just randomly happen at some point, or I have to restart my computer. Anyway, let me hydrate. Okay. I guess I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. We'll struggle. Welcome, Narp Narp. I guess I can... Okay, I have two options. Either I can draw these guys and rattle on about lore, or I can start a new canvas and draw Oak Kit and talk about her instead. Or do I got anyone else in here? What are you doing right now, Narp Narp? Is it sitting and watching the stream? Hello, welcome. Aspen the Void. Let's see. Okay. I'll do Oak Kit. I like talking about... I like Oak Kit. Ooh. Customizing your laces. That sounds fun. I bet that's gonna look pretty. Did I make a canvas? I did. It's too big though. Let me change that. 1,500 by 1,000. How am I doing? Okay. I'm a little annoyed because I wanted to play a game today, but nothing decided to open, so we're here instead. You know what? I'm actually gonna draw two versions of Oak Kit. This is gonna end up just being like a ref sheet. Which I need to make anyway. Art fight is fastly approaching and I am not prepared. Also, have fun in the middle of the ocean, Icy. I'm gonna go in the middle of the ocean. I really want to go swimming, but I don't have anywhere to go swimming. Thank you, Narp Narp. I appreciate the subscription. So let me get started. I guess let's talk about who this small child is. For the new people who don't come or haven't been to my streams before and don't follow me on DeviantArt or Toy House, I have a little warrior cat story. Temporarily / not temporarily, because I've been calling it that for like a couple weeks now, called Apprentices Alone. And main concept is essentially every adult cat from the clans disappears one day, leaving all the apprentices and kits alone. Leaving the apprentices alone. And if you're not familiar with warrior cats, essentially they live in clans together, and they can contact their ancestors' Star Clan. But Star Clan isn't answering by normal means. Mostly because the only cat who can connect to them normally is very young and not fully trained, and also dealing with a lot. Let me check really quick. I don't remember what eyelashes I gave Oak Kit last time. Okay. I just need to double check what I'm doing. Anyway. So, because, poor little white raven is too busy running her clan alone, Star Clan decides to contact the clans in another way. Do I do that often? I just don't. I have very specific ways I like to play with otherworldly beings. And I just find the act of them like having to go to the moon object, and that's the only way they can contact their ancestors, kind of boring. I feel like in a lot of stories, StarClan just isn't a thing I focus on. And for the ones where I do, like Echoes, they contact StarClan. I mean, they have cats that can literally see StarClan cats. I don't know. Also, since I see some people aren't super into warriors, you don't really need too much knowledge of the books. I pick and choose what concepts I like, and then I veer somewhere else. But, so, StarClan's having a hard time connecting with the living cats that are still around. So they decided to go about it by other means. AKA, they choose 5 cats, one from each of the 5 clans. And their original intention was that they'd give relevant prophecies and omens and stuff. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm good at explaining things. I don't think so, but that's because my brain runs faster than my mouth does. Or my mouth runs faster than whatever. It's because words are hard. Anyway. So, their original plan was to just give the relevant information, prophecies, and omens to the cat of the respective clan. But something went horribly wrong, and what was supposed to be clan-specific, spaced-out prophecies was instead all 5 cats getting really jumbled stuff. So yeah, Aspen, thank you for coming around while you could. Have a good day. So yeah, it's all jumbled, and it's pretty much everything that'll be relevant to this situation. And it's mixed up and just incoherent to any one cat. And the reason I bring this up is because Oak Kit is one of those chosen cats. She doesn't have the same issues as the other ones. The way she gets her omens and prophecies and information is much different than the other cats. As I'm speaking, I'm now realizing that 2 things are contradicting in my brain. That's fine, I'll fix that later. Anyway, so Oak Kit, poor little baby Oak Kit, has become StarClan's main way to communicate, essentially. They essentially hijacked this baby to give the proper prophecies. And so, how I see it happening in my mind is Hi, welcome. I'm using Medibang Paint Pro. That information is usually... I need to make, like, a full Q&A thing in the description, but I always have my, art program there. Yeah, I guess it's not visible on the screen. But anyway, so StarClan hijacks this child. How I see it is she's just going about her normal day, and then she kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Her vision fades out, and she ends up somewhere new. I'll talk about her experience as her first experience. Hello, Edward, welcome. Many new people today listening to my warrior cat story without context. You can find context on my other streams and on my Toy House and DeviantArt, which are linked in the description. Anyway. So. Essentially, one moment, Oatkit is enjoying her life like normal. And then the next moment, she is in a... Thank you, Edward. She's in a featureless, foggy landscape. And her first time going, she arrives and she is greeted by a misty blue cat with stars in its pelt, I believe. Give me 1 second to double check my description of Spirit. I haven't designed it yet, so yeah. I was right. I know what I'm talking about. It is my creation. But yeah. She ends up in this featureless landscape, and she's greeted by a foggy blue cat with stars swirling in its pelt. Oh, well... Anyway, I should have made this more dynamic. Whatever. I'll deal with the consequences of that later. Anyway. So, she is introduced to this cat. It tells her about where she is, and she learns that she can change the terrain with just a thought. And it explains that she can go wherever she'd like. And how do I make... Okay, I'll stop for a second to talk about my little guy. I like talking about my little guy. So to answer your question, Edward, about how I make Little Light Echo talk over there, I have a program called VitoTube Mini. I guess I should link that in the description. I'll do that later. But I have a program called VitoTube Mini, and it's super easy. You just put in a idle sprite and a talking sprite, and it registers. You can connect it to your microphone, and it registers your volume and stuff. So then she talks. I animated the tail wagging myself. The program didn't do that. And she just sits here and talks. Anyway, so I was talking about the other world. So yeah, as a baby, that's like super cool, being able to essentially go wherever you want. Give me a moment. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Sorry, someone in the house wanted to talk to me. But yeah, that's like cool when you're a child. You get to go wherever you want, and it just appears. So, Oakkit is perfectly content with her time in the other world. And then eventually that time ends, her vision goes black, and she reappears, or her consciousness, her I don't know. She seemingly reappears in the real world. In reality, she was always still in the real world. Her body was. And pretty much she was taken over, so that StarClan could get a message through her. Or a message to the clans through her. And she doesn't quite understand that. So, for a little bit, she's looking around for Spirit, and she's confused as to why the world isn't changing anymore. She's also completely unaware of what happened. A little bit after that event, the other 4 cats who were given, I call them the visionaries, A little after that, the visionaries gather to talk about what they're experiencing. And it's very clear to them that Oak Kit doesn't quite understand. They can tell that Oak Kit is experiencing things differently, and the one who gathered them, Half Paw, is kind of worried that she accidentally chose the wrong cat. Because Half Paw has had this almost secondary sense. Hi, welcome, Fluffy Comet. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I'm just talking about my warrior cats story. So welcome to the middle of that. So yeah. Half Paw, who is the one who found and gathered the visionaries, is kind of worried she misread things, or misread her, like, sixth sense thing, and thought she chose the wrong cat for a moment. But then Oak Kit tells them about the other world, and they kind of have to the visionaries leave for the time being, and Half Paw is determined to figure out what's going on. And yeah, for a while everything is fine. Oak Kit eventually stops looking for Spirit, and she just goes back to being a normal kit. And then she's brought back to the other world. And she will continue to be brought back throughout the story. I need to mess around with some of that. The story is still in development. So not everything is completely figured out. But the important thing is, or the next, like, important bit, I don't know. Anyway. So, Oak Kit does continue to return to the other world. But as she gets older and starts understanding what's going on, and that she's not just going to a fun place for a little bit. She's essentially being taken over. The fun adventures become a lot less fun to her. Especially once she becomes apprentice age. She's got friends, and once she earns her apprentice name, Oakpaw, she kind of isn't feeling the other world. She would much rather stay and hang out with her friends and her sister, and she'd rather be present in her life. The turning point was really her being taken to the other world, and when she comes to, or when she comes back, it is a whole different season. And she realizes that she's not just out for like a couple hours or like a day or two. She has no control over how long she stays in the other world, and she has no real concept of time there. She can only be taken, or she can only return after whatever prophecy she's delivering has been delivered and understood. Ooh, yay. No, that sounded bad. Anyway, so yeah, she has no control over how long she stays in the other world. Trying to think how best to explain it. Yeah, essentially that. Her prophecies have to be heard and understood, and so she essentially has to be released from the state she's in. Let me change the ears up. I forgot I was gonna turn the canvas. Hello, welcome Art with V. Thank you for stopping by. And welcome Mandy. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, she kind of comes to the realization that this is kind of messed up and that she's losing time. again, trying to think of how to explain it. For the new people that just arrived, I am talking about my warrior cat story. And this girl that I'm drawing, Oak Paw. What am I doing with the ears? I'm trying to decide what I want to do. What I want to do is finish this sentence that I'm trying to say. So yeah, she becomes very disillusioned at that point with her fantastical other world, realizing that she's missing large pieces of her life because StarClan decided she would be the perfect candidate to pass things on from. So she begins trying to figure out ways that she can prevent being sent to the other world. And when she does have these times, she now wants to know all about, like, what she was doing. And she has... Why did I make another... My brain's not functioning right now. That's alright. Thank you for sticking around while you could, Leo. Have a good day. You too, Art with V. You have a good day as well. Thank you for coming around while you could. I'm trying to finish my sentence, but I don't know how to finish my sentence. So she wants to prevent herself from being sent to the other world, but that's not really an option. At some point in the story, or at a point in the story, Half Paw, who I talked about earlier, moves to Oak Kit's clan. And Oak Kit, or Oak Paw at this point, also becomes very close friends with the other Kit visionary, Selkie Kit, or Selkie Paw at some point. Hi, cat. We gotta stop for a moment to pet the real life cat. Hello, kitty. What do you have to say for yourself? Wow. Okay. Mission accomplished. Cat has been pet. But anyway, Oakpaw searches out a support system, and with her friends, the other visionaries, and everything, they kind of come up with a system to make sure she doesn't stay in the other world for too long. But they do realize, like, part of the issue is that sometimes anyone can... Sometimes the prophecy can just be for anyone to hear. But sometimes it needs to be brought to someone specific. And that's when things go a little longer. And she has to stay trapped a bit longer. There is a point where she goes for a little bit without being sent to the other world. And she assumes that it's over and that she's done with it and that she can finally just kind of live a normal life. But, of course, that is not the case. And she eventually returns. She deals with a lot of anger towards the place. And poor Spirit, well, not poor Spirit. Spirit doesn't really register all that much. Spirit deals with a lot of her... Oh my god, give me a second. Sorry about that, I had something stuck in my throat. But Spirit gets the brunt of her anger. Because she does not want to be there, and it's the only other thing around. She discovered early on that she can make, she discovered during one of her visits that places are not the only thing the other world can conjure up, but creating objects is harder, and creating other beings is also extremely hard. It takes a lot of concentration. Because you need to be able to visualize the person or the object. For it to appear. The places, since the main function is just to give Oak something to do. The places are not as hard to get to appear. It's just that they will usually have inconsistencies with the real world if she's going to a real world place. But anyway, one of her visits, she is particularly upset because she was having a nice time with her friend, and things were going nicely, and she was still kind of recovering from the last time she went to the other world. Yes, I have a video game lo-fi playlist playing in the background. And it just so happens to be Minecraft music right now. I don't know where I am in it. Next will be Pokemon music. That's fun. Hello, welcome, Mau Mau. I like your profile picture. I think it's Shadow the Hedgehog. It's very tiny on my screen. Anyway, one of her visits to the other world, she's already not super happy to be there because she was trying to hang out with her friend. Now she's here. And she's just kind of wallowing, head down, trying to disassociate from where she is, when suddenly her friend Selkie Paw appears. And at first she's kind of skeptical that it is Selkie Paw, but for a little context, at this point in the story, Oak is convinced that she can't summon people, because the last time she tried to make her mom appear, but she is just a little baby when the adults disappear. What is this? I'm like not paying attention to my whatever. I can't even remember what the name is right now. My brain hurts. Anyway. She tries to summon her mom, but she doesn't remember what she looks like. Not well enough for her to appear in the other world. So she assumes that people are just not, or cats technically, are just not a thing it can do. So she has a fun time with her friend. She shows Selkie Paw around. And then Selkie Paw says something off. Actually, this story is mostly like a thing in my head right now, but give me a second. Just so I can size this correctly. Yeah, this is mostly a thing in my head right now. There's nothing to like there's not a full story to read or anything. But if you are interested, in the description is a link to my toy house, and on there I have been writing like scenes for this story. What I'm talking about right now with Oak Paw and Selkie Paw in the other world is something I just wrote. Welcome everything awesome. Thank you. If you want, you can find it in my library on Toy House under Apprentices Alone story ideas. It's what I'm talking about right now is called Oak Paw's Plea, but if you are interested in the story, I suggest reading all of what I have on there right now. Maybe if someday I get the motivation, I'll make this a fully written out thing, but I am still trying to regain confidence in my writing. So for now, it's just gonna be snippets. But anyway. Selkie Paw says something that feels off. Should I make these bigger? Give me a moment. Let me mess with the canvas size a second. I just didn't like how thick my lines were, but I don't wanna redo them. Or I don't wanna do smaller. Anyway. So, Oak Paw let me think. Sorry. Selkie Paw says a few things that are off, and the illusion is broken. Oak Paw realizes that this is not the real Selkie Paw. The reason, I guess I didn't explain. Since there's, I think, mostly new people in chat. So Oakpaw has this ability to go to the other world, and she's kind of StarClan's vessel for getting extra prophecies out. Selkie Paw. Each visionary has gets their information in different ways. Selkie Paw gets it mostly in dreams. She has the closest to normal connection with StarClan. So it could be reasonable that she dreamwalked her way into the other world, except she didn't, and Oakpaw freaks out. And that's like where I've gotten with that so far. And I actually wasn't paying attention to the time. I am out of time. I will have to finish this stuff later. Anyway, with that, I guess I'm gonna end stream here. If you're new and you're interested in coming back to more of my streams, I stream every weekday at 8 a.m. EST, or Eastern Standard Time. I don't know all the time zones off the top of my head, so you'd have to look up for your time zone. But I stream Monday to Friday, starting at 8 a.m. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will be back again tomorrow. Maybe with a game this time, or maybe I'll just draw some more. We'll see. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.